Subscribe for the very latest.
And your time can be used to be building something else, like a business.
Exactly.
You know, like going to school to go make more money. You know, so tithing, you know, time is important because there's not enough time, because you have to, like you said, churches, there's a lot of moving parts in church, and it takes a lot of time, you know, to make that happen. But the other part about that is that the time doesn't pay the bills.
Right.
So it kind of, you know what I'm saying? But that's just what it is. And that's the tricky part about having a physical church. You know, that, you know, you got to try to balance it out. Now, I want to break something down real quick. So, y'all know the black church. I can only speak for the black church. I don't know about the white church. It might be the same way.
Some figures.
But being gay.
Touch on it.
Being gay is something that's been, like, gay people are the black sheep of the church.
Literally.
Period. It's been like that for decades. Right? I feel like the millennials are holding the banner for gay people in the church. Like, they are the ones that, like, said, listen, I'm gay. You don't like it?
Oh, well,
Going to somebody else's church, right? Now, this is the part I'm talking about, where we talked about the church turning it back on them, right? Turning it back on people who are, they're judging them based off of what they're calling a sin. And if you, fine, it's a sin, but what are you doing behind closed doors, right? What are you, like, my sin is not bigger than your sin, if you want to call it that, right? So you throw this, you pretty much calling me the black sheep of the church every Sunday, but yeah, you won't be up there running your choir, right? You want me up there because, listen, the gay people these gay people, whoever in these choirs, be killing the choirs, bro.
They do. They really do.
Hey, hands down. If listen, I'm sorry. You can say what you want. If you ain't got a gay person in your choir, like conducting your choir ain't lit. Listen, I'm just saying. If you ain't got a gay person running that choir, if you ain't got that big girl in the back that know how to hold them notes, your church ain't lit.
Wait a minute, but does the big girl have to be gay too?
No, she's just big. She's just big.
Yo, Trent said the big girl gotta be gay too.
Nah. She's just big. She's big. Shout out to all my big girls out there. I'm just saying. You gotta have the big girl and you gotta have the gay dude in the front. Got that thing lit.
And the tambourine player.
Exactly. And you got to have an old man on the bass. He killing it. Now, the young people on the bass killing too. That old dude, he going out. He gonna shine too. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
That gay dude, he running that choir.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's my thing. Like, you want to use them for their talents, but then when it comes to, you know, the sermons, you preaching them out the door. We ain't gonna have that gay stuff in my church, but yeah, you want him up there you want him to give his tithes every Sunday.
I feel like this. If they're gonna sit up there in these churches and call one group of people out for their sins, then they need to go ahead and start calling out all the other sins. So we got, if you're talking about gay people over here, you got people who over here who are infidelity. You got people over here who's stealing. You got people who lying. You got people over here who jealous of this person, who got envy, who you got people over here who's oh, here's a good one, who has idols, and that could be anything: money, pursuit of wealth, your job. That a lot of people fall in that category. So you got all these other sins. So sin is sin. So if you're going to sit up here and want to call a group of people out for their sins, you might as well call out all the sins, and that means everybody falls into the category of it. But the whole thing is, the reason and why you should be there is you should be having your focus on God. It's not because of whatever sin it is that you got or you're carrying around. Your focus should be on how can you as a person connect with your Lord and Savior. How can you as a person try to walk like Jesus and try to live your best life to be connected in line with God's plan for you? Like, how are you, try to use that time to find out what is God's meaning and purpose for me to be on this earth. That's enough right there to where you be so concerned with everything with that, it'll pass all everything else out. But I'm just listen. I mean, but I think a lot of them are tired of being used.
Yeah.
And that, like that, like I said, I'm just speaking about the gay community in that regard, because it's not fair that you shining that light on them all the time, but then you want to use them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair. And like I said, nobody should hold anybody else higher over whatever, because we all got sin. That's why we're here in the first place. I'm
always struck, like, why is that anybody's business?
Exactly. It shouldn't be nobody's business.
Like, if that individual is gay, like that, I'm not gay. But it's just like, it's really like, when I hear it in sermons, when I hear it in songs, it's just like, Ty Tribbett has this one song. I can't remember the name of it, but it's on my phone. And he was like, come out of poverty, come out of homosexuality, come out of lesbianism. I was just like,
dang, what's the name of that song?
Is that Victory?
That is Victory. That is Victory.
Like, and at the end, like, while they're like praising and worshiping, he's like, come out of poverty, come out of homosexuality, come out of lesbianism. And I was just like, cringy, because I love the song. The
Victory
song
is dope.
has a lot of energy. The beat is like amazing, but that part at the end, it just literally makes me cringe. When I hear people preaching and they say lesbianism, homosexuality, you gotta answer for that one day. You gotta answer for it. Jesus is gonna ask you why you a homosexual? Come out of your homosexual. I be like,
oh, here's a good one. That's why Sodom and Gomorrah in here, because that was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah. It's not supposed to be Adam and Steve. It's Adam and Eve. Like, what? Like, what? Why? Why?
Knocking back. No business knocking back.
Hey, hold on. Go say that again, bro. Say that again.
There's plenty of pastors like knocking backs who ain't supposed to be knocking on. There's plenty of pastors sleeping with deacons' wives, or women, or cheating on their own wives.
Right.
I'm saying, there's the people, a lot of times in them kind of churches, the dudes at the higher up, or the people at the higher ups, they doing their dirt behind them.
Exactly.
But they be the first ones. It's like the first ones to call someone out on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if they repeatedly doing it, like, that ain't no church you should be.
Right.
You know what a great poet once said? If you smelt it, you dealt it.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I just felt like
it's really frustrating to me when I hear it and I see it, because I don't feel like anybody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Not even the person in the pulpit. And I feel like my generation and younger are just not standing or not taking the hypocrisy.
And bully. You
right?
know,
Is you're bullying these people? The hypocrisy, like, no, they're not taking it, and it's like, and I feel like they've also realized, like, I don't have to be in the building to have a relationship with God, and I'm all for it. Like, I go to church for, you know, the congregation. Like, I love my church people. I'm not even gonna lie about that. I met Tay in church, so I'm not even gonna lie about. She's one. Tay is at church like all the time. Tay works Monday through Friday. Church. Tay on the audio video ministry. Tay on the choir. Tay, she does like she Bible study. Like she is in it. So I love my church people, my church family. I've met some amazing people in church, but it's the things that come along with it, like that judgment and that hypocrisy. I will never judge someone for not going to church. I will never judge someone for not having the same religious belief as I do. Like, I don't, as long as you have I feel like so many times in church, we all in everybody else's business and we're not worrying about our own. Right. You have to answer for what you have done. I have to answer for what I have done. You work on your relationship with God, and that's it. You call it a day. What you smiling for, Walt? What are you smiling for?
As my wife would say, mind the business that pays you.
What you smiling for?
No,
we done had Bible study together, okay? We done had Bible study together, okay?
Yes.
Don't.
Yeah, no, you're right. A1, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But, you know, it's another thing, too, I wanted to bring up, too. And another thing that these millennials might be tired of. All this miracle talk.
Holy water.
Shout out to Peter Popoff.
I knew you was going to say that.
Do not ever call that number.
Listen, by the way,
don't ever call that number.
Listen.
Why you throwing the water like that?
That's how he be, bro. He be tapping people with the bullshit, like, people get knocked out, walk right back in line. I'm gonna give you another thing.
They play with God. They need to stop playing. They need to stop playing. They play with God. They need to stop playing.
Watching it is just hilarious.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. When I'm at late at night and I pass by Peter Papa commercial, I'm watching that joint. Or infomercial, I'm watching that joint.
Listen,
man.
Listen.
I made the mistake one time. And
you call that number?
Don't ever, because I was late at night. I was bored. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I called that number one. I called the number one time. Of course, you get a recording. But you know they keep your number in their phone. And they register. I was 10 years later. Got a call still from these people. Are you still looking for the miracle holy water? I'm telling you, it works miracles. And it's like, it's sad. I'm like, you're not ever.
I got money just happened to come in my account. Like, I'm like, what?
Listen,
bro.
Peter Popoff, man. Listen, y'all go Kroger. They got the 6-pack on sale. The holy water.
Bro, no. Question. Wow. How are they doing? How are they falling with the coat?
Oh man.
Yo, these black people.
Yes.
They straight up lying on this joint.
Like, literally. Like, they be so serious holding him down. Like, they really feel like this man is the second coming of Christ. I mean, like, when I watch it, like, if I wake up in the night to go use the bathroom and it's on my TV, I change it. I'm not even watching TV.
I'm watching that joint. That's just like, comedy.
Like, why?
I got 3 houses. No, hold on. It's like I used to smoke crack, and now, thanks to this miracle water, I got 3 houses. I got 5 business.
And it's sad when a crackhead gets up there, man. We was in a church one time in the South. This man said something. I used to be turning tricks on the corner. Now I'm turning tricks for Jesus. I'm like, wow.
Turning tricks for Jesus.
Yes, he did. He said he was turning tricks for Jesus. I'm like,
Yo.
man,
So,
Yo,
wow.
Peter Popoff,
Like, nah,
right?
bruh.
Peter Popoff, yo, they getting tired of these lyrical, these miracle commercials. Like, dog. First of all, the way he be holding people's heads, he
They just be like,
he pound that joint.
Jesus. I be like, sir, like,
He be palming it like he's like it's a basketball.
I just can't get for all of that. Like that just, I see that and I can be like,
I want to
Even-
ask y'all.
Go ahead.
So, do y'all think, I mean, obviously it did matter. It did matter as far as like what Jesus looked like. But as far as making Jesus a white girl, like it does not matter for real. But I'm saying as far as why it was done and how we look at it, do y'all feel like the general consensus of at least Black people? Do you feel that they feel that he has some color? I'll just say that he has some color. Do you feel like we as a people? Do you feel like the world do you feel like do we look at Jesus as a person with some color?
Well, go ahead, Trent.
I do. They said in the Bible what they describe it.
Well, hold up on that one, Trent. Well, Trent, hold up on that one though.
What the man look like?
No. Well, hold up, Trent. Hold up. 'Cause listen to this though, because a lot of people are going to say, if you talk to real Bible scholars, they're going to tell you that description is a visual. It's like it's a vision of what the person was saying. They saw a vision of what they saw Jesus as. So they're not going to tell that they're not really technically saying that Jesus looks like that.
I do not care what description I read in the Bible.
I'm
what
just saying.
Jesus looked like. He was this, and then it even goes farther back than that. I'm like, you cannot tell me just common sense. The area where the history of the Bible takes place. You mean to tell me they were really light with all that sun?
Oh, yeah, no,
going on, walking on the deserts. And then, even this is going a little bit off subject, but I'm like, really, if you break down Deuteronomy 28, you mean to tell me with the curses that Moses was talking about, who does that apply to today in this day and age? What the explanations that he gave of what would happen?
You said Deuteronomy what?
Deuteronomy 28. He explained that the blessings and he explained the curses. When the curses comes up, who does that description break down of what type of people is living that exactly today?
It's Black people.
If you look at what happened to an innocent, doing right Black man, beat, accused of wrong, and that don't sound like a Black man.
Right.
That don't walk.
Like, yo, come on, yo. Like,
Exactly.
Do you honestly feel like a white dude went through in wrong? Like that?
Exactly. But bringing it back to the conversation, they explained that man as being the color.
The description ain't this description of that. Like I said, I believe that. I believe when scholars say that's a vision of what they saw Jesus was. But the part we'll remember. First of all, remember. Mary and Joseph and Jesus was on the run. Remember when Herod was like, "Yo, kill all the firstborns or the boys or whatever." Right at one point, What did they go? They went to Egypt.
Yeah, they went to Egypt.
Why? Because that's where Black people are from, right? And they probably would have blended right in, right?
Exactly right.
Their version of Jesus would have been out there. It would have came back with sunburn.
There'll be no way. Even if exactly.
Not the red cheeks.
Exactly. Even if there was that color, you mean to tell me with all that sun in that part of the world,
that's what I'm saying.
It wasn't going to turn this color.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
Israelites. What's his name? Moses. Moses blended in with the Egyptians, right?
Yes.
Because he was Black,
right? Wow. Why couldn't he pass?
Because
you mean to tell me this one white baby was able to
right.
And
They know they was wrong for that.
Like,
They was wrong for that. They was wrong for that. They know they was wrong for that.
I'm like, come on now, come on.
They was wrong for that.
Like, it ain't about. That's what I want to make it real clear. I'll make it real clear. Like, it's not about like black people or white people who's the children of Israel or whatnot. Because at the end of the day, you got to believe, you got to be down, be
Exactly.
Right. But the whole essence is that they did that for a reason.
On purpose, yeah.
They did that for a reason so that the people who of color would probably have a little less faith, or probably people who are white would be like, we the people.
Superior, yeah.
Right.
We
That's the power.
This position, y'all deserve to be where y'all at, and not this thing. Like, that's bogus.
But see, that's what millennials are tired of, though. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's the whole part of what they tired of. Like a lot of stuff that, you know, and I feel like the black church talks about this a little bit more than what they used to, you know, about black people. I know, you know, shout out to, you know, Greater Travelers Rest or the House of Hope. You know, he talks about black people, you know, how they were in the Bible. You know, Pastor E. Dewey Smith, he talks about, you know, people in the Bible and you know, how we relate. You know, he spends the whole Black History Month breaking down black people in the Bible. You know, so, you know, that I think that's talked about a lot more. But, you know, generally speaking, a lot of people, like we were talking about earlier, we're in the information age. Like, no one should be blinded from anything.
Right.
Right. So it's more of a range, it's more of an opportunity for black people to pick and choose what they want to believe in. And really, this is a rebellious generation. So they trying to shake the chains or all of the things that they feel like their parents were, you know, quote unquote brainwashed or believed in for all these years. They trying to dig a little deeper, kind of peel that layer back. And this is not the first generation. I mean, if you really think about it, the 60s, there were a lot of our parents who were, you know, really kind of digging deep. Like, for example, if you really listen to the song "Wake Up" by Teddy Pendergrass, and he talks about at the end, if you really listen to that ending part, he says, "Preachers, stop preaching the lies." You know, and then you think about the Black Panther movement and a lot of the other movements. They were digging a little deeper because they were traveling. They were going to Africa. You know, at this time, they were taking trips to Africa. You know, you had, you know, Malcolm X out there, you know, preaching. So it was a lot of digging deep back then. But now, because we have the internet changed the game.
Literally everything, not just religion, music, education, everything. You know, so that is, you know, millennials are they're just getting in that. They getting a little bit more education, or it's just a lot of more information out there. Because I can't call everything on the internet education, because, you know, a lot of lies out there on the internet too. It may not be education, but I feel like there are a lot of things out there that might trigger something or jog something for you to think about, whether it be true or false. But there are a lot of things out there, and I feel like sometimes the hard part is that the church is not keeping up with, or doesn't have anything to combat, or is not. They feel like, oh, well, we're not going to speak about it. If we don't speak about it, it's going to go away. Like, nah, it's still going to be here, bro.
Jazz, I'm glad you said that, because that's another thing that millennials are tired of. Tradition.
What big facts.
Tradition. Just doing, you know, they like, listen, y'all been doing this for 60 years. we tired of doing the same old thing over and over. I'm tired of going to church every Sunday. I'm tired of, just the same old thing. Let's break the tradition. Like I said, they're rebels at heart. They don't mean no harm. They just rebels. They're going to challenge you.
Yeah.
They're going to challenge you.
Yeah,
what do y'all think about that?
Y'all seen the clip of that little boy that said, "I'm tired of this church," and he
I did.
Wow,
And he walked away, and his family, whoever the lady was, she was so mad at him. She just like snatched him up, was like, "Get over here!" Like,
man,
poor thing. He was just being honest.
Man, that joke was funny. Hey, listen. If they had to give an award for like clips of the year, that joke right here, he was dead serious. He came from the heart. He said, "I'm tired of this church."
And then walk away like
out of the mouth of the babes. Out of the mouth of the babes. But I know that Jazz has to get up and go to church tomorrow.
I do. 7. I have to get up at 7.
She had to be there at 7. So we're going, we're not going, go too much longer on him, because I don't want her yawning. And Carrington probably might watch it. Why Auntie Jazz look like that?
My thing has always been, as long as you have your relationship with God, you working and cultivating that, whether it's in the church or not. Do I feel like people should be in the church? You should, but there are so many different options. You have non-denominational church. You have so many different things where you don't have to feel constricted every fine. I think one of the comments that I saw on my page was like that religion is too structured for our generation. Like you said, like we are rebels at heart. We don't like rules. We don't like no one telling us what to do, how to do it, or what to think and how to feel about anything. So, but there are so many options out there. As long as you're working and cultivating on your relationship and have some form of a faith foundation, what it is.
Yeah, man. Like, I would say that I've always been this way though, and because when I was a kid, my mom's was Jehovah's Witness, because I grew up with that. As I got older, let me say that because I started out in the church. My great grandmother was a pastor, and then my father, my mom's Jehovah's Witness. I got older, I got in the church, back in the church, and being part of Jehovah's Witnesses and going to Kingdom Hall and all of that, it taught me some things. I learned a lot in that, and being around them, and there's a lot of things that I disagree with. That's why I stopped going. But I say that put God to the test. Put him to the test. And, whatever comes from that, talk to him. Let him. That's what he did for me. He in the beginning, things was coming. It was just mind blowing, like how things were like opening up and the things he was putting into my life and the people that he was surrounding me with. But I would just say, like, yeah, just put them to the test. Whatever comes from that, don't let the church be the gauge. Also understand that with anything that you are a part of, whether it be a church, whether it be a school, it's an opportunity for you to change those entities. When you are a part of those entities, when you leave it, there's no way to change it. You just gave up on it. No matter what they say, if you see a wrong in that situation, correct it. Be the loud one. Be the loud one in the church. Be that one when they see you coming. Oh, here she come. Here he come. Let them know, because that's what they did to Jesus. When Jesus came through, they like, oh, here he come. Here this guy. He think he the son of God. Here he come. Be a part of the change. You know what I'm saying? Don't just leave it. Because if you're not a part of the change, you have no right to talk about it. That's how I see it. Yeah, that's how I see it. So, but we're gonna let Jazz go to sleep. You know me, I'm gonna still be up thinking about the next podcast, and because you know we got the core room next week. Oh yeah, by the way, Walt's gonna be on the next podcast next week for the courtroom.
Why?
Gotta watch to find out, Jazz.
I'm over this.
Gotta watch to find out.
Next episode of the collab, we're gonna talk about when people introduce people to other people, but then they try to X out the people that introduced them.
We're not hearing about it. But they're not trying to hear that selfish stuff. Stop it.
Whatever. Y'all don't know him. Our bond will always be greater. We prayed together.
Hey,
I want to say my little well, thank you for having me on the collab. But I was gonna say like my last little minute to the people about your faith and everything, about your walk with God and everything. Everybody on their own walk. That means like some people might be all up in the Bible, know the Bible, this, that, but and then some people might only know like the first few pages, but everybody on their own walk. So as far as the people who I feel who hold the positions in power in these churches, you know, don't judge and be a bit more patient with the people who are actually willing.
Right. That's a fact, man. These leaders are not patient. They don't want to bend or conform. Nope. They don't want to change. And guess what, church? Physical church. If you don't bend or conform, or at least try to listen to the young people, that church that you're gonna have is going to die.
Straight up. We live in a microwave society. Everybody wants it to just work just like that. It takes time.
Yep.
It takes time.
That building will go to the next bidder up. And it's not going to survive generations like the other churches, because you know you're not going to adjust. Trim, I'm gonna ask you for your last word on this, but I want to point out there's a lot of churches out there. Like we watched one on Sunday. Carrington watches one called Fellowship of Chicago. Man,
is that with Reginald Sharp?
Reginald Sharp. Yes,
I like Reginald Sharp in Chicago, and I like Transformation Church in Tulsa. Where is it? Oklahoma. Pastor Michael Todd. He is
Michael Todd. Yeah.
Really good. He is really good, and he does a very good job. Well, they both do a very good job of speaking to young adults, and they keep it real. They're very honest, and I like them. Yeah. So
find something, man. It's a lot of good churches out there that embrace some good people. Like he does, like Reginald Sharp. I watched him since he was 13. Yeah. I watched this young man since he was 13, and because he came under E. Dewey Smith at Great Travelers Rest, and I've watched him preach the socks off some of these pastors at 13. And now that he's a young man, he's only maybe 26, I think now, something like that.
He not a little bit older?
He might be a little bit. I'm not sure.
I do know he went to Morehouse, if I'm not mistaken.
He might be almost 30. He might be. I don't know. It might almost be 30. But you know, he does a good job. Like he incorporating young culture, and he has a very, very old soul. Very old soul. Shout out to him, man. I love seeing him. Listen, as the great poets of the streets say, don't let them trick you up the streets.
Who said that?
Don't let them trick you up the streets, man. Just saying. Sherman, what you got to say? What you got to say to the young millennials?
really just focus on what you really need to be there for. It's about you and God. That's it. That's all you need to really focus on.
Yeah,
Nothing else matters.
I love my young people, man. I've acknowledged the fact that I'm 41, but I'm becoming an old man. Be an old man one day, man. But I always
couldn't tell.
I will always be tied to young people. They always keep me young. You know, even my daughter now, she will always keep me young. You know, so yeah, y'all definitely keep change the church. Don't run away from it. Don't run away from it. If it's something that you really hate, go become a pastor. Go, you know, or get your own church. You know, or you know, you ain't even gotta get to church. Just get a Bible study popping. You know, get your own thing going, but don't run away from it. Just educate people. But that's all I gotta say. Tay, we missed you on this half.
Yes, Tay. I really wanted you to be a part of this half. Darn rain. I hate the rain.
It's all right. We got plenty more podcasts to go, man. So is that our last words? We good to go?
Good.
Yep, Gucci.
All right. I hate to leave y'all, but you know, I can go all night. But we gotta go.
Yes.
We gotta go. So on the behalf of Tay, rest of the Code Lab, we out. You have a good night. Same bad time, same bad channel. Whenever we decide to record again, I don't know.
Good night and good luck.
Peace.
Bye.